This is sort of my favorite part of the chief of staff role, mostly because this one and the truth telling. So it's like two things that go together hand in hand, which is directional and truth telling. Um, and I think this is also what makes the role so challenging and uniquely hard. Um, because ultimately, you are speaking truth to power. That's what this comes down to. Um, and I don't really want to go into the gender differences here, but I do think that women who speak truth to power are often in a position where their jobs are at stake. Um, I read
Oh, I've
this
been called some
fabulous book.
amazing terms. Yes.
Right. I mean, right. I mean, of course. And I think, um, I read this fabulous book that I'm going to plug here because I think it's just that good, and I think that every chief of staff should read it, which is a book called Walking on Broken Glass, and it's written by Julia Carreon and Shannon Nutter. It's going out; it's being released in September. I was a beta reader for it, but what's so interesting is that it sort of describes this history of women getting pushed out of jobs and why it happens and how it happens. And it turns out that there's a type that really traditionally gets pushed out, and it's generally a chief of staff. They spoke with a whole slew of people, and chiefs of staff were very traditionally, evaluated as they've got to go because you are not doing your job in this role if you are not challenging people and saying, can we just think about that one more time? And that's where often chiefs of staff are not in there, or they're not performing their job in challenging and in sort of making sure that we're moving in a directionally sound way and that we're truth telling, right? We're sort of pulling it back a little bit and saying, whoa, 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 because most people won't do that. And the chief of staff is really obligated in a way